Hey Sam, I have so many things to talk about. So many things. So, thing number one, I read 11 books this month. Literally 11. 11. Literally 11. I don't know. I don't know how it's possible, but no Wi-Fi does crazy things to a person. Thing number two, a couple days ago, I completed my 2017 reading challenge that I set at the beginning of the year. So my goal for the year was to read 25 books, which was the same as last year. Last year, by the end of the year, I had read 26. It's August, and I already have read that many books in 2017 as I did in 2016. So all of this is crazy. I don't know. I'm just going with it. Just reading a lot. The last thing, and this is like the biggest, this is the most wonderful thing. I have purchased for myself a Kindle Paperwhite. Look at her. Look how beautiful she is. Look. These advertisements are kind of annoying, but it's fine. Look how wonderful. I love her so much. She still needs a name, so let me know if you think of anything. I was against e-readers for a really long time, just like super against them. But this is the perfect time in my life for me to have one of these. I live in the middle of nowhere, really far away from any libraries, and I, in general, get all of my books at libraries. So I was going through books real fast and running out of books that I had here. So this was the perfect thing for me to buy myself. And I'm so happy. I'm going to, as quickly as possible, let you know the 11 books that I read this month. 11. How? Okay, first of all, The Slippery Slope by Lemony Snicket. It's the 10th book in the series of Unfortunate Events. I've been trying to reread Series of Unfortunate Events for a real long time, and I'm finally getting to the end. I have never read the last one and read all the other ones when I was a kid, so I'm doing the reread so I can finally read the last one and figure out how this ends. I've been wondering about it since I was like 10 or something, so it's gonna be exciting. Next, I read The Dream of a Common Language by Adrienne Rich. This is a book of poetry. I did a analysis on the work of Adrienne Rich for school, I think a year ago, and really enjoyed kind of researching her and reading the work of her that I did read for that project. So I really wanted to read this book of poetry, and it was really great. It's kind of got me inspired to read more poetry in general, which I haven't done much of in the past, so hopefully later this year I'll read some more poetry too. Then I read The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling. I ended up really liking this. It took me a long time to get going with it. I thought the beginning was really slow, and I didn't really enjoy any of the characters in the beginning. And I'm not sure I even love any of the characters now, but the story got really good by then, and I got really into it, and I'm excited to read the next two, and I guess a third one coming out pretty soon. Then for my ridiculous read of the month, I read The Courtship of Princess Leia, which was described on the internet as the most ridiculous Star Wars book you will ever read. And that was all I needed, to just dive right in. It was ridiculous, and I loved it. Then I read The View from Saturday when I was in about the 6th grade, I think is when this book came out. And I remember a librarian recommending that I read it, and I just never did. And it was on my to-reads list on Goodreads, so I just decided to read it this month. I really do wish I had read it in middle school, because I think I would have really liked it. It's about a group of 6th graders who are on a decathlon team, kind of like their stories, the individual kids and their teacher, and it was just a really sweet book. Then I read Dark Force Rising, which was the 2nd book in the Thrawn trilogy, which I think I talked about last month. Trilogy set after Return of the Jedi, written in the 90s. Kind of started off the whole extended universe thing. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm gonna start the 3rd one really soon, and I'm really excited. I'm just trying to survive while we wait for The Last Jedi right now, and this is how I'm doing it. Then I read 44 Scotland Street, which is a collection of super short stories about a group of people who live in an apartment complex in Edinburgh. And this was originally written to be serialized stories published in a newspaper, and then they're collected in this book. It's just a fun, lighthearted book. Easy to read, perfect for me to read at work when I only have maybe 5 minutes at a time to read something. I also read Me Talk Pretty One Day, which is also a collection of short stories, memoirs, by David Sedaris. I enjoyed this book way more than I liked Dress Your Family in Corduroy and Denim, and I really liked that one too, but this one, just really liked it. It was really great. Makes me want to read more David Sedaris. Then my favorite book I read this month, Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet. This book came out 5 years ago, I think, and I remember when it came out because I added it to my Goodreads to read list and then never read it. I have almost read this book so many times. I have checked it out at the library, physical copies of it at the library, and had it sitting in my room and never read it. So it was time this month, and I loved it. It is historical fiction. It takes place in Seattle, so basically all good things. It's a love story, which is not my primary thing that I want in a book, but on the side, really great. So it was really good, and I would recommend it if you like historical fiction. It was just a sweet, heartwarming story. It was great. So then I read The Grim Grotto, slowly chugging along toward the end of the series. And finally I read The Gunslinger, which is the first book in the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. It's currently out as a movie right now, and we had a copy of this book at work. One of my coworkers had it, so we've all just been passing it around, reading it. So it's been really fun to read something with my coworkers. This book was weird. I really enjoyed it, but I probably didn't understand everything that was going on, but that was fine. And I'm intrigued, and I'm gonna read the next one as soon as I can. So I've never read a Stephen King book before, so it was awesome to finally read one because I thought it wasn't my thing, but turns out I like it. So that is all the books that I read in August. I know, it was many, but yeah, so I'm just living the dream. Me and my Kindle, we're just having so much fun together. And hope, the end of your summer has been good and that you're excited to go back to school. I can't believe I'm not going back to school. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. We'll have to see. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.